From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check of 2021 passed. The House of Representatives passes your wonderful fourth stimulus recon overnight, and we have the latest details in this recording. We have the breaking details as the Senate is now vowing to add a lot more changes, more checks in that incredible recon. What are they? I have the latest in this recording. We'll be looking over the House bill landing in the Senate and what that House bill starts at. It'll start at least $15,000 of checks to you, the American people, in this incredible recon. Lots of checks and lots of money. But no time or place to wait for a Senate vote, because guess what? The third stimulus is paid right now, and that third stimulus has a lot of money in there. So much money in there, you'll get choked up about it. $45,000 of checks in this incredible third stimulus. Get that money right today. We'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness and the latest details of that additional sums of money that can be given during the holidays. $10,000 of it. And then we turn to fifth stimulus, the latest on that fifth stimulus, which is coming in January, raising my people's benefits up if you're on SSI and SSDI, and also my seniors and veterans. And then we check back on a frame wars because Americans don't see eye to eye. And we're going to the Senate, and you need to sort of see eye to eye when you get over there. If you don't, you need to fix the prescription. It's a big, bold, beautiful afternoon. I'm excited you're here. And then a new sneak peek of the new sirloin. We got a lot coming up in this big, bold, beautiful video. And it starts right here, right now, direct from Santa Monica on a big, bold, beautiful weekend with your House passing your fourth stimulus recon. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and away we go. The House has passed your wonderful fourth stimulus recon that'll pay you an enormous sums of money before the Senate adds more checks on top of that. The Senate is vowing to add additional checks to this incredible recon, but so far the recon pays you about $15,000 across all these incredible clusters. I'll show you how to get this sums of money in this incredible recording. Then we'll be turning over to the exciting details of what else is available to you right now. Don't need to wait for that fourth stimulus recon to pass the Senate. We have $45,000 of third stimulus available right now. We'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, and how to get the big money for fifth stimulus coming up in January. That incredible sums of money is heating up with fifth stimulus on the burner, and it's deliciousness. Then we turn back to frame wars to check in where people are looking at that Medicare reform as it lands in the Senate. Those details and more, plus a preview of sirloin. It's a big, bold, beautiful broadcast. And this, my friends, is LALATE, America's most talked about financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons, and coming up next is a big evenings LALATE at 5 o'clock. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record, and 140 million views in a year and a half. Like this video and consider becoming a member. We got a big recording as the House of Representatives passes your incredible recon overnight, and now we go to the Senate. In this recording, we'll go over the big money that you're going to get for this incredible recon, the $1.5 trillion to $2.5 trillion recon. We're going to go over the $15,000 of checks you're going to get in there. Then we're going to come back after the commercial break and go specifically over each of these checks. Then we're going to take a step back over to third stimulus because that big money is available for you right now, $45,000. Then we go over fifth stimulus, student loan debt forgiveness, and a preview of sirloin. It's a big, bold, beautiful afternoon, and I'm excited you're here. And let's start with this incredible recon. The House of Representatives overnight passed an incredible recon after an 8-hour delay by Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. That recon has in there lots of checks, and those checks will pay you about $15,000 across all these incredible clusters. Those checks are across 3 clusters and 2 add-ons, but as we go to the Senate is going to beef this up. $15,000 is on the low end, my estimate. The number could be on the high end because the same items under third stimulus, a page of $45,000 are repeated under fourth stimulus. Let's get a pen and paper ready and go with the incredible items in this fourth stimulus recon. They got in their hazard pay and that $4,000 of elder care. Hazard pay is that earned income tax credit back end, and that elder care is front end. They got $4,000 to care for young children. They got the CTC, the child tax credit, for one more year. That is for my young children, $3,600 approximately for that 1 year. They got in there the Pell Grant, $550 checks for my college students. And then they got in there the money to repair your home if you live in a low-income community. They got the money in there for that low-income community home. Then finally, they got the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Wow. That is the first cluster of checks passed. It's about $5,000 just alone in that cluster. Let's go to the first add-on, and it's free money to go buy your first home. Excuse me? Free home? What? No, the home is not home. The home is not free. It's free money to buy the home. And that comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters, a representative from Los Angeles. She got in there a provision. She wanted $25,000. She got a little bit less. And that is the provision for free money for the purchase price of your first home. How do you get this money? How do you get all these items? Stay with me. It's coming up late in this video. Here we go to the second cluster of checks. Home repairs and paid leave. Wow. They got paid leave in there, front end check. They got home repairs in there, front end check. Pre-kindergarten, front end check. And then they got in there the incredible household tax credit, back end check. You want that big money for these home repairs. This time it's for weatherize your home. All types of homes weatherize your home. What is weatherize your home? You weatherize your home every time there's carolers coming. Because if the carolers come, if you see one of them is Kevin McCarthy, you know they're never going to leave. They're never going to stop it. They just carol for 8.5 hours. Can you wrap it up, caroling Kevin? There we go. Let's go to the second add-on of checks, and those come from the wonderful Bob Casey. Bob Casey got it in there, and it's free home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities. $250 billion of it. Again, that is for people who are seniors and also people on disabilities. He got a little bit less than that number. Let's go to the third add-on, the third cluster of checks, and here's where it becomes deliciousness. That third cluster of checks has in there free school meals for all checks, cheaper prescription medication, immigration form, the money for free internet, the farmers, also the independent contractors, and the Medicare expansion. Here you go. The House bill passed overnight has in there two provisions, and those two provisions for Medicare are the Medicaid gap states, and then the hearing. Bernie and the senators vow to put in their dental vision and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, which tees us up for our third add-on, and that third add-on, of course, is MSE, which stands for multiple IRS stimulus checks. And the senators have been the forefront of the advocates with our advocacy to put it in there. This week, we've had 3 viewers who have sent me private messages who have reached out to our 6 key senators, and they have represented to those viewers. They're still putting it in there. What is this? What does it look like? How does it formulate? Well, the last time they told us, the senators said to viewers of this channel, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. That would amount to 6 months of checks. And eligibility would be the same as third stimulus. Eligibility for third stimulus was the following: $75,000 or less, single individual, you would get it. $150,000 or less, you would get it. Double it. Family of 4, you would get it. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, you would get it as well under third stimulus. They vow to add it in there. Of course, it's not on the House bill. They vow to add it on the Senate side. And who are they? The 6 key senators at issue. The 2 C's, the 2 W's, and the 2 S's. Sanders Schumer, Warren Wyden, Casey Coons. You need to pick up the phone and advocate. And what you saw overnight was really not the focus on Kevin McCarthy and his diatribe, but really the focus on Bernie Sanders, because he said, thank you, House, you did a great job getting a very good bill passed. Now we're going to make it better. There's a lot of changes, and that was the number one story everywhere, is that senators vow to make lots of changes. And that's why you have to advocate. And that is why the senator, who's the number one guy of this entire recon, his chief of staff, said the following message to the viewers of this channel. They now have in total between congressional and senators' offices received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. They now have a better understanding of what Americans are going through because of you, LA. They have heartbreaking stories, and they are the voice of the people in you, LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Please continue your continued encouragement for the continued advocacy as the professional voice of the people you have become, and continue until this becomes law. Here we go. We are now in the Senate of the U.S. Congress with your recon. And those 6 senators need to hear from you. If they heard from you before, they need to hear from you again. Because guess what? The House bill is a House bill. And everyone and their sisters and brothers and uncles all say the Senate is going to modify dramatically the House bill, adding stuff in there. There's a potential that things will be removed by the Senate parliamentarian, but for purposes of the progressives and the moderate Democrats in the Senate, they're adding stuff in there. So you need to pick up the phone and call. But here's what's also very important, and you've heard the messaging in this channel in the last week, is that the forced stimulus recon is not going to send out any money to anyone this week or next week. And so what you need to do is start using the resources of third stimulus, which still is paying out. Third stimulus has paid viewers on average $45,000, and you can get your bills paid today, tomorrow, for third stimulus. How much money? Upward average of $45,000, but many viewers have gotten over $120,000 from this channel from third stimulus. Get your bills paid today from third stimulus, not from fourth stimulus, which is not law yet. How do you do it? It's coming up in the second half of this video. Then we're going to go over those Senate changes that the Senate's vowed to change to this incredible recon as it now lands in the Senate. We're going to go over the programs so far in the recon before the senators supplement that. And those programs has about $15,000 of checks, the most checks you've ever seen in the history of this channel. Get that pen and paper ready. I'm going to show you how to get that money. We go over to student loan debt forgiveness, the latest on the student loan debt forgiveness, and then fifth stimulus coming up in January, raising benefits for people on SSI and SSDI, and then, of course, the exciting details of frame wars. Frame wars is heating up in the Senate because everyone has a different opinion how to look at the situation, and they don't see eye to eye. Bifold, trifold, we will fold somewhere, but we'll be back in 60 seconds as the exciting deliciousness of this big afternoon's broadcast continues. The House has now passed your recon. Off to the Senate, we are rocking and rolling. I told you we would pass. I told you this would happen, and now I'm going to show you how to get the big sums of money this week from third stimulus and the money thereafter from fourth stimulus. It's coming up after the commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And here we go. In the second half of this video, we'll go over the incredible details as a House of Representatives passes your wonderful recon overnight. Now we go to the Senate, and what happens in the Senate? They're going to add provisions to that recon thereafter. What will happen with that Senate? I have the latest details in the second half of this video, as the Senate will add a lot of changes to that incredible recon. Then we go over to the details of that recon one at a time. $15,000 of checks are currently in there from the House of Representatives, and more checks are going to be added by the Senate. What are they? I can show you how to get those amounts of money in this incredible recording. Then we'll be turning back into $45,000 of checks available for third stimulus. No time or place to wait for that money. I'll have the latest details on that. Then we'll turn to student loan debt forgiveness. As student loan debt, more debt be forgiven across the board. What is it? And then we turn to the exciting details of fifth stimulus. Those details and more, plus a preview of a sirloin, and also frame wars. Those details coming up in later this video. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record, and 140 million views in a year and a half. I want you part of the incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Coming up next is Evening's Countdown. Evening's LA at 5 o'clock, a brand new show tonight. and overnight crypto as well. So hit that subscribe button, like this video, and consider becoming a member. And here we go for the dramatics. Well, the House of Representatives passed an incredible recon overnight. I told you it was going to happen, and it did happen. What went on? Well, early this morning at the thick of dawn, before sunrise here on the West Coast, the House of Representatives passed your incredible recon. That recon pays you an enormous sums of money, and it is huge. And away we go to the Senate. I had told you that the vote would happen on the House side. It did. I told you that the House subcommittee would pass the recon. They did. I told you that they would write the bill. They did. I told you that the House would vote first. They did. And I told you that the House would pass it. They did. I also had a sense yesterday that the vote would not happen on Thursday, but would happen on Friday. But I had no sense that Kevin McCarthy was going to do what he did. 8 hours of delay on Thursday causing the vote to roll into Friday. But then bottom line, we're done. Off to the Senate. And I had told you that the Senate vows to add a lot of provisions to this incredible recon. And as soon as the recon passed, Bernie Sanders says, yeah, it's a good bill, but it's going to be made better. So far, we have in this recon about $15,000 of multiple checks for you. That's before the Senate gets to it. And the $15,000 certainly undervalues the situation and maybe upwards of $50,000 because all the incredible clusters of checks in that recon third are repeated under fourth. Let's go over some of those checks starting right now. Get your pen and paper ready. One of the first checks they got in this recon is the paid leave and family leave. How much does it pay? A lot. $1,700 if you can make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. $400 a week if you make $15,000 or more per year. How many weeks? 4 weeks, up to 4 weeks per year. Yes, that's a lot of money. That is $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Who gets this? Anyone who has to stay home from work because of illness, death, or birth of a child in the household has nothing to do with COVID. Now, if you don't work, but someone else in the household does, they're going to get the money for the entire household. For example, let's say your son or daughter you live with, they work, and they take you to the doctor once a week. They're going to get the money for the whole household. And there you go. The best part of that incredible provision, paid leave and family leave, is it's for everyone. All income levels, and also W-2 and 1099s. Away we go. The second wonderful provision they got this recon is the money for the SALT cap. SALT cap. Under the 2017 Trump Code, it said that you cannot deduct more than $10,000 on your federal tax return of what you pay in state taxes. Now they're going to change that. $72,500 of what you pay in state and local taxes will now be deductible on that federal tax return. They got in there job training, wonderful free job training, $40 billion of it in this incredible recon. Then they got in there the Medicaid gap fix, big. For my viewers who are always asking about insurance, cheaper insurance, they got in there. For those 12 Republican states, the holdout states, where the Republican governors refused to pay for Medicare, well, Obamacare, well, what happened is they did a workaround plan. The recon has a workaround plan that provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income people in those states where the Republican governors refused to pay for it. And then we go into the housing assistance. It's huge. $150 billion in this fourth stimulus recon for housing assistance, which is rent, utility, food, internet, and it is also for the money that includes home repairs, weatherize your home, and first-time home purchases. Sound like an overlap? It is an overlap because those same provisions are currently under third stimulus. So if you're watching this video today and you're wondering when is fourth stimulus going to become a law because I have bills to pay, don't think that. Think about when am I going to get third stimulus in my wallet today because it's law. Third stimulus is already law. It was passed earlier this year and it's paying viewers on average about $45,000. It's paying for rent, utility, mortgage assistance, food, internet, more. How do you get this money? I'm going to show you right now. This is how you get your bills paid today. You don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become a law. You get it from the prior bill, which is law. It's called third stimulus. Who gets it? You do. You qualify. You all qualify. If you're single, if you're married, children, not children, elderly, young, red state, blue state, behind on bills, not behind on bills. You qualify for it. And let's go over the incredible sums of money right now. Get that pen and paper ready. We are going to start with the rent first. The rent is enormous. It was about $20,000 to $30,000 about 3 months ago on this channel. This was a graphic on this channel then. Well, the numbers have gone up since then. Here is what we looked at that time. $20,000 to $30,000 of rent. Now the numbers have gone up. Why? A series of reasons. One, there's a lot more rent money out there. Number two, viewers are more sophisticated. The more they watch this channel, the more they learn. Number three, you can get multiple rounds. All right, here you go. Where do you get the money? Get ready. Get that pen or paper ready. Get writing this down. If you remember this channel, you don't have to write it down because it's in the newsletter. You're going to reach out to 6 places. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Rent or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. And there you go. Now, what's important to know is a few items. 1, reach out to all 6. You must, M-U-S-T, reach out to all 6. Don't reach out to 1 and call it a day because they have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. If one says no, reach out to the next. Number 2, apply everywhere. Don't apply in one place and call it a day. Apply everywhere. Don't just apply for one place and just twiddle your thumbs. Number 2, you can get 3. You can get money from multiple sources. You don't have to get the money from the same source. Next, you can get multiple rounds. Thereafter, you can also get paid for rent from 2 places that are totally different at the same time. Do the same thing for mortgage assistance. All right, let's go over to US utilities. Here we go. This was 3 months ago. The numbers were 5,000 to 7,000. Now they've grown a lot. They're up upwards of $15,000 for this utilities. And wow, this is huge. And this is big. But guess what? Then the utilities are going even higher. Why? Because utility bills are going up higher. Heating oil is now going up 59.1% according to the CPI year to date. So get these monies for utilities. If you have 5 utilities, pick up the phone and get 5. I had a viewer yesterday say, I'm a senior. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to use the computer. You don't have to use a computer for this. You use the telephone. Can you call up the utility company because there's an outage or a smell or a leak? Well, then you can pick up the phone and ask them for money. Absolutely, you can do this. I know you can. SNAP, money for food. And here we go. SNAP is money for food. You would qualify for a third stimulus check. Why are you paying for food? Contact Department of Agriculture and get on SNAP. This is the biggest payout this channel, I think, has ever delivered. I think I've gotten millions and millions of dollars to viewers for this channel for SNAP. SNAP has a lot. Mark's brother-in-law is getting paid $25,000 a month every month. $25,000 a year. And over the next 10 years, that'll be $250,000 because of this channel. And why has this gone up so much? Because of a new raise 2 months ago, raised SNAP 25% a lifetime. Next, get multiple sums of money. Here we go. Here is Mark and Nancy and Nisi. The 2 women, they got 3 items, but Mark got 2. I said to Mark, you only got 2. Go get the third. He was at $32,000. He got the third. Brought himself to $50,000. Now he's got 4th and 5th and 6th. He's at over $100,000. That's what you do, and that brings us to Lorraine. Here you go. Here's Lorraine, and wow, this is big. So Lorraine was at 105. Now she's at 120,000. This is third stimulus. This money is available for you right now, so you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus at all. Get that money for third stimulus right now. I bring you to Johnny. Johnny's example is the most important. Johnny is a viewer who started a week with 2 other viewers. They did not know each other, 3 of them total, that had gotten $0 from this channel. By Wednesday, the 3 of them had gotten 3 items approved, $45,000. Great achievement. But Johnny did not stop there. He continued to push, and by the weekend, he gotten 7 programs approved. 7 programs in 5 days. Now, why is that important? Why am I mentioning this? Because he had to have called 15 places. That's what you want to do. You don't want to call one place and say, hey, I just gave up. No, you call 15 places. You don't reach out to the volunteer and send 10 messages. You call the phone. You pick up the phone and start calling around for this money, because I'm showing you in this recording and also the newsletter how to get that money. He called 15 places, and he got approved by 7. By the end of the week, he got $80,000 from this channel. The second part of Johnny's story is also truly inspirational. What happened? Following Monday, Johnny spoke to his family members. He said, I just got $80,000. They said, from what? This kid on YouTube, LALATE, he's the real deal. I got $80,000. They said, from what? Third stimulus. Third stimulus. I've watched broadcast media, print media, and local news, and all I hear in third stimulus is a $1,400 stimulus check. That's all that's in third stimulus is a $1,400 stimulus check. No, he said, LALATE goes into the details. And I do. And that is what he said to those family members. And by the end of the week, they each got $50,000. What's important to understand is that broadcast media, print media, conservative media, liberal media, doesn't matter what type of media outlet it is, local news, national, cable, they don't cover this. They never have covered it. They didn't cover it on the first stimulus, they didn't cover it on the second, they didn't cover it on the third. Today, the fourth stimulus recon passed in the House, and they broadly showed a graphic of 4 items on the screen and said, hey, here you go. They don't show anyone how this money works or how they get the money. They don't care, or they don't really know. And YouTube, other YouTube channels, they don't do anything. They just sort of read a newsletter and they run a quote from Nancy and they call it a day. I show you how to get these some sums of money. And so there you go. The incredible sums of money are available for you today, and I have commentary about that coming up later in this video, which brings us now back into forced stimulus where we left at that housing aid. That housing aid has other items in there, and those other housing items in that forced stimulus recon are the money for the home repairs, low income, the weatherize your home, all homes, and in the first price of your first home. Now, remember, this is not a law yet. I'm having some people send me messages to say, how do I get that money? Remember, this is not law yet. Not law yet. I encourage you to be ready to pounce, but don't pounce on me because it's not law yet. The money to repair the home of a low-income community, it'll likely be a grant. You just apply for it, and you want to watch this channel as we go through this through the Senate, because as soon as it's law, you want to pounce and get this money first come, first serve. Absolutely. Number two, the weatherize your home. This is all homes at the moment, no income level, and then the purchase price of your first home. This is you. First time, and it looks like money given to you during the escrow period. Let's go back over the next provisions in this incredible recon, and those are the $150 billion for home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities, $550 checks for the Pell Grant, and then $12,500 for the purchase of an electric vehicle made in a U.S. shop by a U.S. auto manufacturer. This is where the Senate's going to really have to change this. This makes no sense. Why? Because the current law is $7,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. This is a back-end check. They want to raise it $12,500 if you're buying electric vehicles made in a U.S. shop by a union worker. Two problems, and the second problem you're hearing for the first time on this afternoon's broadcast. First problem is it's really only one car at the moment, the Chevy Cruze. Now, there's talk that the Hummer will be included, but no one is watching this channel buying a Hummer. It's $125,000. I mean, yeah. Number two, the Lyric and the Chevy and the Ford Lightning may be going into the Tennessee plant, so that may bring us to three cars. But we have a provision for three cars. The second problem that is now manifests itself for this language is that Ford and GM and Chrysler that you qualify for in this recon make some wonderful cars that are electric and not particularly outrageously expensive. They're decently priced. The problem is that they're in Mexico, and yet they're union shops, but they're in Mexico. And by the way the language is written, you can't get this credit, $12,500. I now believe that Biden is setting this provision up wrongly to be subject to legal battles between Mexico and Canada, because they have our union shops there with our union workers making your union cars. And I don't think they're going to allow you to have a law that says if you make the car in the United States, you get the tax credit. If you make the car 1 foot over the border with U.S. employees, U.S. union employees, but in Canada, that we're not going to give the credit. I don't think it's lawful. So I think this provision is going to get a big challenge, and I've been hearing some rumblings about it as well. $65 per child for the child when they're not in school. The cheaper prescription medication is one of the best provisions of the entire recon. What's at issue? For 20 years, Medicare could not negotiate a cheaper price for medication, and now they will. As soon as this becomes law, the next day, Medicare will undergo good faith negotiations with Big Pharma to negotiate cheaper prices on 20 medications that are the most expensive under Medicare B and D. This is diabetes, cancer, and arthritis type medications. For example, insulin doses will drop from $1,000 a dose to $35 a dose, and this is huge. Now, by year 2028, it'll grow to 30 medications, and that the price of medications cannot increase more than inflation per year. And if it does increase more than inflation, then there'll be a penalty. That penalty, that's what the Senate parliamentarian will be looking at. Now that we're out of the House and we're in the Senate, the Senate parliamentarian is looking at a lot of provisions. One, she's looking at that one. Pat Toomey thinks it does not belong in a recon. I have no opinion about penalties in a recon. I don't really know. She has previously said, the Senate parliamentarian, that immigration reform cannot stay in the recon. I believe it cannot, and I think it's coming out. Then also the paid leave, battleground. So we're going to see what happens across the board. Side note, every single thing that Kevin McCarthy said what's in the recon last night was bold-faced lies. It was totally untrue. And it's sad that an elected official is literally telling the American people on C-SPAN or PBS or wherever you're watching it that there's $450,000 checks in there for illegal aliens. It's just so sad that someone to default to those total bold-faced lies. It's absolutely awful. But almost everything else that he was talking about in this recon, he was also just totally untrue. It's very, very sad. Now, here we go. Now off to the Senate. The senators have a lot to add to the recon, and this message is not new to this channel. I've been saying this for, a month? Well, it came out to full force as Bernie Sanders tweeted just minutes ago. That good. Thank you for passing the recon. Now I got a lot to add to it. Bernie says the best bill since the 1960s, but there's major gaps, and he's going to be added in there. I've been telling you this for months. We first got the first comment from Bernie Sanders on this channel. Now it's everywhere that there's a lot being added to the recon, and that is coming from Juan White, and that's coming from Coons and Sanders and Schumer, and also Casey. Now, with that, get that pen and paper ready. We're going to go with some big sums of money right in this recon right now. He got in there. We got in there pre-kindergarten. This is 1 year for 3 to 4 year olds. They got in there the child care credit. This is back end. They got the CTC for 1 more year, $3,600. The earned income tax credit for my essential workers. That is back end 1 year. Home health care, we just covered that. That is likely a covered benefit, but the hearing aid may actually be a check. We went over the home repairs, and we also went over the $65 per child when they're not in school and the Pell Grant of $550. So what else is Bernie adding to this recon? Well, Bernie's adding 3 provisions on top of his push to add in there that MSC. And the provisions he's adding in there are dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. First, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. I think he can get it in there. It's currently 65. Bob Casey wants it at 60. Remember, Bob Casey had the provision, that success with that other provision he added in there. Bernie wants it at 55. I don't know if he'll get 55, but I think he'll get it lower. Number 2, Bernie wants to get in there dental. Dental, he wants 10 years of benefits. I don't think he's getting 10 years of benefits. That's a very expensive provision. He went down to 3 years of full benefits. I think he can get that in there. The last provision, last time I was in this recon, it was a check to you, hardcore cash check, $850 check per year. I don't think that cuts it, nor is Bernie. $850 doesn't cover most procedures and basically covers cleaning and like half a procedure. It doesn't make any real sense. Then vision. Bernie wants to have you have a new pair of frames and a new eye exam per year. And I said, that's very simple. That's very simple. You just go to Costco, get the $50 eye exam, and you get a beautiful pair of frames for $100. You're done. $150. Oh no. Oh no, that spawned the big battleground of this channel. The big controversy that everyone's talking about. Frame wars. Frame wars. People just don't see eye to eye. And I've been asking your commentary on this channel. It started with one viewer who said, no, my frames are $450. You got to pay $450, Bernie. My daughter pays for my frames, just the frames alone, at $450. I said, Medicare does not shop in Paris, not let alone Paris, France, or Paris, Kansas. Medicare does not care whether your glasses or frames change from blue to orange to purple. I mean, they should care if they turn to purple, but they don't. Then in episode 2, we had one viewer say, you know what? I need trifold glasses. What? Do they even exist? Yes, they're better for than bifold. They're trifold. And I need a special type of light and a special type of color. And that's $1,000. In episode 3, one viewer said, my optometrist is the cutest little guy. He's just so nice, and he really takes care of me. And he charges me $1,500. That's why he takes care of you. He gets you for that $1,500. So Frame Wars far from over. Here's the latest commentary on Frame Wars right today. And there you go. That's Frame Wars. As we land in the Senate, expect a lot more with that battleground. I fully expect that Frame Wars is far from over. I fully expect that Frame Wars is going to have a lot more battles. So if you have a commentary about what you think frames should be, send to me on social media, whether it's funny or true or false. I really never know the difference. Let's turn back to that incredible recon. So what happens next with the recon? We're off in the Senate now, and the Senate has a lot to be done. I believe we're going to go into Senate subcommittee. You want to go to Senate subcommittee. And that Senate subcommittee has those provisions being added in there. Remember, if you're just joining this video late in the recording, watch the other videos on this channel today. Third stimulus is paying right now, and that third stimulus is paying fortunes. You're not going to see this recon pass in the Senate this week or next week. It's going to take a little bit of time. And with that little bit of time, they're adding more checks in there to make it even bigger and bolder and beautiful. But I want you to get the big sums of money available from third stimulus right now. Let's turn over to student loan debt forgiveness for a blink of an eye before I give my commentary. Student loan, more debt could be forgiven. That's currently a $10,000 offer on the table. Democrats should take it. The president wants to forgive $10,000 for all the wonderful former students. He forgave student loan debts by executive order for people who became disabled, work in the nonprofit sector, or the public sector. The $10,000 offer, they should take it. It would go by executive order. Fifth stimulus heating up. It comes in January, the next recon, and the fifth stimulus recon can overlap. We're seeing third and fourth overlap. You can see fourth and fifth overlap. What is it? COLA, your benefits are going up next year, January 1st. 5.9% because of the COLA raise, and COLA is not a good benchmark. Why? Because it just has not moved for many years. Your benefits were undervalued before the pandemic, undervalued during the pandemic, and now undervalued after the pandemic. So they're first going to raise your benefits up one big time to get you caught up. This is you. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, then there's benefits. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. And that new benchmark will be applied every December. Not this one, but the year after that. With inflation now expected to be about 3%. Some analysts are saying 2%, but I think it's going to be about 3% next December. They're going to have a step up every year. If inflation is 1, 2, 3% every year. And that's incredible. They're going to remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? Become a member today to get that incredible newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system. It features the big money available for you under first, second, and third stimulus. That newsletter features the 6 places you reach out to, the keywords you say, the nonprofits, the 5 of them that also pay for other items like home repairs, small nominal home repairs like a broken glass, clothing, homeless people in the shelters, holiday meals. It features the Treasury money allocation, so you know what that is. It features all the details on the third stimulus because guess what? The viewers who have done really well, like Mark and Nietzsche and Johnny, have learned and listened to the videos and applied it themselves. Which tees up my final commentary as we go into the big evening, a big evening tonight. Wow, what a week it has been. But it's a reason like this that I think we need a little bit of a victory lap. A victory lap because we stayed here and we stayed on point and everything that I told you was going to happen happened. I told you that a recon was going to pass procedurally first. It did. $3.5 trillion passage of a recon procedural, aka the framework in the House and Senate. Then I told you they were going to write the recon substantive bill in this House subcommittee and that the senators would be part of the discussion, but the House would actually write it. They did with Richard Neal and passed with that wonderful legislator from Houston a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. That recon passed in the House subcommittee, then teed it up for the House floor. I told you the House floor would vote first. Remember, while I'm reporting this, I could certainly call it an exclusive, but no one else was ever reporting any of these things ahead of time. I was reporting them months ahead of time, if not weeks ahead of time, telling you this is what's going to happen and that step is going to happen. Then I told you that the House floor was going to vote first and that the senators were going to add stuff in there. And that was again confirmed overnight. That even though the House floor was passing a $1.9, $2.0 trillion recon, that the Senate was going to add a lot of provisions in there. I also told you the Congressional Budget Office report is a report that's being really sent over for the Senate to look at to sort of debate the merits or non-merits of it. Finally, I told you the moderate Democrats and the progressive Democrats on the House side will come together under a Nancy Pelosi deal, and that the moderate Democrats were really looking for that SALT edition. That was really what they were looking for. They weren't looking so much for the CBO, and that the House would pass it. Throughout that entire process, you stayed here, and we learned, and we figured out how to get it done. And here we go into the Senate. Senators, those 6 senators have always been part of the key ingredients to add a provision to this recon. It's important to note that if you look across the entire scope of where things have been, whether you're having a cup of coffee or turning on the radio or flipping through the TV or opening the newspaper, they don't cover it. They'll never cover it. They don't cover this subject matter anywhere else in any detail. So you're never going to really find where the money is. You're going to find it here. This is the time and place to learn about the money. Yes, lots of checks on this incredible recon. Currently at about 15,000, but I'm probably undervaluing it. It's probably about 50,000. And then the Senate's going to add more checks on top of that. Then the push to add an MSC in there as well, or at least one check, if not more. The push is underway, and you need to push across the board. Meantime, people have been excited. I've been excited. The return of holiday LALATE, which will probably slide into where it was last year, in the noontime time slot. And then the return of Sirloin. Should Sirloin be on the holiday show? Maybe he will. But everyone's excited about the return of Sirloin. I'm excited about the return of holiday. I'm not excited about changing the set to get the decorations up, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Meantime, what is everyone saying about the return of Sirloin? Have you seen Sirloin? Oh, you haven't? Well, if you haven't looked on the local news, because they don't cover everything, Sirloin was spotted with his family on the beach of Santa Monica overnight. You know, was it my doing? You got to do whatever promotions you got to do in this life. I mean, you know, I'm not Kim Kardashian wearing Yeezys walking around with Pete Davidson. But if I have to put a cow on a beach in Santa Monica, I will do it. And here is the latest promotion and the return of Sirloin. Let's take a look and see what they said for us. And that, my friends, is the return of Sirloin. Join me next as evenings LATE heats up at 5 o'clock, and then overnight scripted. We got a whole slate of shows tonight. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening. But for now, stay with LA for more.